In the previous episode, we learned about the first civilization in history. With the same humor and cyberpunk style, let's go back in time, back to ancient times to learn about another civilization. Let's begin. Imagine this. You are standing in the dusty cradle of civilization, Mesopotamia. The Tigris and Euphrates rivers wind like two parallel veins through the desert, sustaining fragile life. And somewhere here, in a city that we have yet to find, Akkad stands tall. Yes, an entire capital city has disappeared. Historians are still wondering, where's Waldo, about it. But this is no ordinary city. Akkad was the heart of the world's first empire. That's right, before Rome, before Babylon, before Netflix made history, there was Akkad. So, how did this empire start? With a guy named Sargon. Now, Sargon wasn't born royal. Nope. According to legend, he was the ultimate zero-to-hero story. The guy was abandoned in a basket and floated down a river. Yes, the original Moses move, but 1,000 years earlier. He grew up as a servant, basically an intern for a Sumerian king. And then, plot twist. He decides he's done being a servant. Sargon pulls off the ancient world's biggest promotion, from cupbearer to emperor. He unites the squabbling Sumerian city-states, slaps a big golden label on them, and boom! The Akkadian Empire is born. The first in history. Now, don't picture dusty huts. Oh no. Akkad was sophisticated. Language? They spoke Akkadian, one of the earliest Semitic tongues, which later evolved into Babylonian and Assyrian. Basically, if Mesopotamia had a group chat, it was in Akkadian. Government. Sargon invented the job of governor by dividing his empire into provinces. Congratulations, Sargon. You just invented bureaucracy. Army? Professional, full-time soldiers. Not part-time farmers with pitchforks, but actual trained warriors. Akkad wrote the book on How to Empire 101. Oh, and the art? Bronze statues, cuneiform tablets, even possibly the first propaganda campaigns. Imagine walking into a temple and seeing a giant sculpture of your emperor glaring down at you like a Mesopotamian action figure. Of course, every empire has its drama. Sargon's kids and grandkids inherited the throne. And if you thought Thanksgiving dinners in your family were awkward, try being in the Akkadian dynasty. There were assassinations, coups, and betrayals. One ruler, Naram-Sin, Sargon's grandson, was so extra that he declared himself a god, not just king by divine right, but literally, hey guys, I am divine now. He even left us a famous stele showing himself stomping on enemies like he was Mesopotamia's first pro wrestler. Subtlety was clearly not the family's strong suit. But then came the collapse. What happened? Well, historians argue, but here are the greatest hits. Climate meltdown. Around 2200 BC. A mega drought hit. For centuries, rain said, "Nope, I'm out." Crops failed. Famine spread. And when your empire depends on grain, that's basically like the Wi-Fi going down forever. Invaders. Enter the Gutians, mountain tribes from the Zagros. Think of them as the uninvited neighbors who show up, eat all your food, and never leave. They wrecked cities, disrupted trade, and trashed Akkad's carefully built system. Rebellions. The provinces started saying, "Why are we paying taxes to a capital we can't even find on the map anymore?" Revolts flared up like fireworks. Within a couple centuries, poof, the empire of Akkad was gone, like a Snapchat message from 3334 BC. And here's the spookiest part. The actual city of Akkad, lost. Archaeologists have been searching for over 100 years, but nobody knows exactly where it stood. All we have are inscriptions bragging about it. It's like history's greatest humble flex. I was once the biggest city on Earth, but you'll never find me. Yet the Akkadians didn't vanish completely. Their language lingered. Their ideas about empire. Provincial governors, standing armies, propaganda, became the blueprint for Babylon, Assyria, and beyond. In a way, every empire since then has a little bit of Akkad's DNA. So let's recap. The Akkadians invented the idea of empire, ran the world's first bureaucracy, spoke a language that shaped Mesopotamia, produced kings who thought they were gods, and then they disappeared. Climate, invasions, rebellion, the perfect recipe for collapse. But the funniest part? They left behind the ultimate historical cliffhanger. Find our capital if you can. It's like they rage quit civilization and deleted their save file. Why care about Akkad today? Because their story is the perfect reminder that even the mightiest power can vanish. Fast. You can have the first empire, the strongest army, the biggest ego, and still lose it all to drought, neighbors, and bad luck. Maybe that's why the tale of Akkad still whispers to us. Every empire thinks it's eternal, until history hits delete. And somewhere, buried under the Mesopotamian sands, Akkad is still hiding, laughing at archaeologists who keep digging in the wrong spot. Because the first empire in history really knew how to make an exit.